But yeah, it was brutal. You know what I mean?
And I think at your age, we're at similar ages, aren't we? And you're about a year older than me, I think, if that's right. There probably wasn't that much, even not in a military world, but in a personal world. PTSD, it just wasn't really talked about. Men shouldn't really talk about the feelings. And did you get much help from that at the time to deal with the trauma, or were it just kind of get on with it?
I didn't know anything about it, so like I say, I just got on with it. Self-medicated and stuff like that. So you like mental health in general wasn't a huge thing, and the stigma around it was people thought you said a word mental health, you were nuts, you were mad, and it doesn't. It's different things, and that's something that I work with a lot of guys in the military that have got this thing, and with their help, and there's some high-profile people talking about it. We are changing the public perception around mental health and stuff like that, and trying to sort that out. But yeah, I didn't know what was wrong, and I thought that if I could just tuck it away and not think about it, it'd be fine. And like I say, then I just got on with my career and started moving on. And then next, I got posted to another place in Germany, and then Iraq came around the corner, 2003.
And how was that? Because did you do a couple of tours in Iraq as well, or?
So there's 2 tours of Iraq. So I was out there in 2003, which was what they called the war. So my tour started early because I was guarding the boat. So obviously we've got to get all the tanks to Iraq, and they all went by boat. So I was, I had a 4-week cruise guarding tanks on a big ship. So it was quite cool. So northern Germany, round the Bay of Biscay, through the Med, through the Suez, and then it was quite nice.
What's it actually like when you go visit these countries, going in these massive? I presume they're huge warships, are they? Or?
No, it's just your average tanker.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, no, we had military escorts, but yeah, just a normal sort of
tanker,
good ship. Yeah, so as I say, we were just there to make sure there were no pirates stupid enough to try and rob the ship. And
did you see any pirates when you were there?
No, we didn't. We had to. One of us had to sit on the bridge every night, and so you'd read the reports and. Unfortunately, I was just thinking. I always had this picture in my head of, some pirates getting
Captain Birdseye.
Yeah, some pirates jumping up boat, walking into sort of galley, and there's 10 soldiers sat there having a scrangle and get off.
When we say pirates, we don't usually mean the ones that we know in fairy tales.
Yeah, we're not talking about Captain Hook and his lot. They can, a lot of areas. So piracy, let's say, they hold ships to ransom and goods to ransom, and. It's prevalent.
There was a documentary made on it with Tom Hanks, wasn't there?
Yeah,
what was the documentary called?
He was a captain of the ship that they took.
You were called Captain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Captain Phillips.
Yeah.
That was about. Yeah, but it's Somali pirates.
We weren't where we were. It was Arabian Gulf, so there was more. They weren't Somali. It was more the sort of the Arab area. But
Arab pirates.
Yeah. Like I said, we didn't see none anyway. So saw a few dolphins and that, but yeah, no pirates.
So you got to Iraq, and that was sort of 2003. So that was when the war broke out. So just to give you some kind of context as well, you'd have been 3 years old, Charlotte, when you at the time. Now I remember it. I can remember it as clear as day because obviously it was 9/11 that kind of kicked it off, wasn't it? Really.
I was on an aeroplane then.
Were you?
Yeah, I was actually on an aeroplane going out.
Whilst it was happening.
Going out to the Middle East, we landed in Oman, and we got rushed into this big hangar and went, right, don't worry about what's happening in America today, everything's going ahead as normal, but we'll keep you posted information. We're all looking at each other going, we just spent like 10 hours on a plane, we've got no idea what's happening in America today. And it was about 3 days before obviously the news filtered through what happened out there. So it was
and
really
remember,
crazy.
Facebook wasn't around, social media wasn't around at the time, so it would only been the news you'd have been able to.
And we're in the desert, mate. There weren't a lot of television.
There were no televisions around there.
No. You're lucky if you got BBC World.
So just talk me through the Iraq tour, because that's it's quite an important part of your life in terms of what happened there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite interesting because it was really strange how it happened. So we went and sat in Kuwait for a bit till we got the go. Then we crossed the border and we went and sat just south of Basra. And then we got the go-ahead that we were going into Basra, and we joined up with the Marines. We went round the back of Basra. So I was part of the tank squadron. We went round the back of Basra with the Marines. And while they were fighting over at the front, we just come through the back door. Caught them all out, and we took Basra from there. But it was a really surreal situation. It's kind of, you're driving an armoured vehicle, you're firing weapons and people, and the Marines are obviously on the ground doing the infantry role. It was a a strange situation, but it was what we class conventional warfare. So obviously we were one army. We knew what the other army was dressed as. We knew who they were, and it was, as you'd imagine, one on one side, one on the other, firing backwards and forwards. But you know, we had the better we had air supremacy, so we had air support and all that sort of stuff. Whereas they didn't have that.
When you first went in there and you saw that, although you're trained and you're prepared, what's going through your mind when you really see warfare like that for the first time?
Yeah, it's strange, like you say, because you can do all the training in the world, but nothing prepares you for actually someone trying to kill you until someone actually tries to kill you. So you've got no idea how people are going to react. I know people who are like John Rambo on Salisbury Plain, you know, but when the real proverbial hit the fan, you know, they curl up in a ball and put the thumb in their mouth. And then I see other guys who couldn't lace the boots up, you know, and then all of a sudden they become your best asset. So you've got absolutely no idea how you're going to react until you actually have to.
And sometimes the quiet ones are usually the ones that...
Maybe watching too many Vietnam films.
Oh, is it?
But yeah, like I say,
Okay.
and it's just all that prep. And as I say, so we went through and then the warfare actually ended quite quickly. We dominated the area, like I say, and then the Iraqis surrendered officially, and then it just became what we call an insurgency then. You know, there were pockets of resistance just popping up here and there, and you know, having a pot shot at you, and then the IED started, and that's when it became more dangerous because, you know, you see somebody at the end of the road on a mobile phone, you know, they could be ringing up to tell wife they're going to be late home for tea, or they could be, you know, setting up an ambush. You just had absolutely no idea.
Yeah, so you'd have probably constantly been on your guard all the time.
Yeah, and it's not healthy to be that alert for that length of time.
How many hours? So were you like hours just constantly? Did you ever sort of come out of that alertness and slip back, or were you just...
Yeah, they tried to get you like operational stand down, where you go to what would be classed as a safe area where you could just, like you say,
just calm down a bit.
Calm down for a couple of days. But in 2003, because nothing was set up, nothing was, you know, we were sort of setting everything up as we were doing it. That wasn't really as easy to do. But when we came back, you know, we came back from there, and there was nobody really injured from our platoon, our troop, and that. So we did all right. But then a couple of years later, that's when it started kicking off, and you know, it got really, really bad. And I went back out in 2006 on Telic 9, and that's when it was really going. And I think that was the second worst operational year we had for the number of deaths and casualties.
Right, okay.
In Iraq, so.
And that was 2000?
That was 2006, yeah.
Right, okay.
Well, 2006-07, it kind of went out in October to April.
So you've gone in, and then it's got progressively... What was the reason for that, do you think, in terms of why it was kicking off? Why do you think it was getting worse?
It was strange, because there's a lot of people that Saddam got rid of.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, once he was out of the way, they came back. But a lot of them were linked to sort of jihadi groups, you know, Al-Qaeda and stuff like that, and basically they just wanted to have a war with the West. So you know, we were in there trying to build schools and things like that, and there were sort of pockets of individuals that didn't want us to do that. So they just, you know, say you can't really explain. We were there trying to build schools and sort of stuff out, and they were trying to just disrupt and attack and fight us. We always thought, well, if you just stop fighting us, we'll go home, and then you can do what you want. But you know, I mean, you kind of got the impression that they wanted us there because it was healthy recruiting for them, for, you know, the ISIS and the Caliphate and all this sort of stuff that we see on the news now. You know, a good war is really good for recruitment, because they can show us as being the infidels, as the baddies, you know, and they used to set up attacks and make it look like we'd done it and things like that. So, and they were the ones putting bombs in marketplaces, you know what I mean, not us.
Yeah, crazy. And just talk me through the sort of the obviously what happened in terms of your injuries as well this time. So you're out in Iraq in 2006 still. This is the time, isn't
right,
it?
Yeah. So I went out in October. I remember doing my leaving do. I fell out at Seki singing "Leaving on a Jet Plane." Ironically, the landlady said, "Get out middle of the road, you'll get yourself killed, you idiot." And little did she know. But so I was the commander of a recovery team. So when we're doing the patrols around Basra, you always have what we call a recovery asset there. So if something breaks down, it's not like you can wait for AA to turn up. You know, you want someone on the ground straight away to get you out of there. So we went out on a patrol, and we'd been in and upset a few locals, and we'd had a big firefight. We'd beaten the locals, and then one of the vehicles broke down, so they all got on the mobiles. Said, "Hey, up, baddies are here. Come and have a pot shot," and it just went manic. It was like, I don't know if you've seen the film Black Hawk Down.
I've seen it.
It were like that, and so they've got a vehicle that's stranded, can't move. They've worked it out, open up with everything they've got. We've got our infantry lads trying to give cover in fire, try and keep their heads down so we can. I've got a 35-ton truck. I'm trying to connect up a 15-ton truck. So you can imagine the equipment used to tow that. So we get that done properly, and then we sort of mount up on our vehicle. And as I don't know why I did it. I ran up the front of the vehicle like John Wayne or something. You know what I mean? Jumped into the commander's hatch, got onto the weapons system, and started putting some rounds down at the baddies. And the driver, I can't see. I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "I can't see." All the vehicles had taken off and all dust kicked up. The driver just couldn't see. So it was too dangerous for us even just to drive off, because he could have put us in a ditch, we could have hit a car, could have hit a house. So I went, right, okay. So I put my head up out of the turret, said, "Look, yeah, you're clear, go." And then that's just when I felt the hit. So the bullet hit me there and come out there. Ruined me Wednesday morning. But I was very fortunate the bullet didn't knock me out. So it shattered both cheekbones. Burr up my jaw in 4 places, my palate collapsed. There was other internal damage, I was completely unaware at the time. So I had to put my thumb in my mouth to hold my palate up so I didn't suffocate. I attempted to bandage up my face. If I'd have been knocked out by the round, I'd have died, because I'd have suffocated. I'd have made my palate collapse. So.
What were going through your mind? Did you know you'd been hit, or did you just think something's happened?
I think I knew I'd been shot.
Yeah.
I think I said I've been shot. Because I've still talked to the driver now, and he remembers obviously from a different angle to me.
Yeah. How did you? I know for me, it still blows my mind. I've listened to this story before on other stations, and how did you know to put your palate in your mouth? And you were doing that, or was it instinct, was it?
I think it was just instinct. I think that there's some sort of survival instinct in the back of my head. Just went, you're still alive. Let's try and keep it that way. Plus the driver owed me a £5. I wanted it back.
Is that a typical Molly?
I'm not letting him off. But like you say, you kind of, I don't know, your body knows it's still alive.
Yeah.
So then it does everything it can to keep you that way. And I remember when we got close to the medical facility, it's about 25 minutes from the medical facility, so we were getting close. And there was a medic, incredibly brave, which is basically on top of the truck, and he was feeding back information. And I had my hand up like that, and he was holding my hand, so he was keeping a check on my consciousness.
Making sure you were still conscious.
But I've had my hand like that for 20 minutes. So it started sagging, and he panicked. He thought I was, starting to lose consciousness. So he went all Hollywood on me. "Oh, come on, you're nearly there. You're doing really well. Come on, keep going. Don't give up now." And I just went, "Man, I'm just going to sleep." So then we got.
Because you wouldn't have really been able to speak either, would you?
No,
at the time?
no. I was trying to say my arm's got to sleep. I don't know if you heard me. In my head, I'd said it, but So then we got to the outside the medical facilities, and they were all looking down this turret, going, "How do we get him out?" And I thought, "You bunch of pansies." As you do, you're getting adrenaline still pumping through me. So I ripped off my body armour and I climbed out the vehicle on my own. And at that point, a massive cheer went up, because all they'd heard is Sunray 24 Alpha, which means Commander of 24 Alpha, headshot.